Brave has become known as an internet browser that's an alternative to Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, all of those, because it actually protects your privacy and doesn't track you, that kind of thing. And that's great. But they also have a new feature that I think is awesome. It allows you to support media creators like myself, who produce things that you like, and to do so without any cost to you. And so I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I'd like to show it to you. You see, the media creators of the internet used to be paid via advertising. Whether you're creating a website or creating videos, either way, you generally advertiser funded mostly. And then a couple things happened. One of those things has become known as the Adpocalypse, and that happened mostly on YouTube, where YouTube cut off advertising to anything that was considered controversial, especially if it was conservative. And so a lot of conservatives have actually disappeared from YouTube because they literally can't afford to keep producing videos, they can't afford to eat and feed their families and do this at the same time. I could do a whole video on the Adpocalypse, but that's it summed up quickly. The other thing that happened is that on a lot of websites, they became unscrupulous, including some of the really big websites, and they had so many ads on their pages and auto-playing videos and this other stuff that the internet became unbrowsable. It was hell. So people installed pop-up blockers, ad blockers. They used browsers like Brave, which automatically blocks ads. That fixed the problem of these unscrupulous sites, but it also made all websites, poor. It prevented them from being able to make money and sustain their websites. All right. Content creators, for want of a better, broader term, struggle to eat and survive in this environment. They begin to have to rely on direct donations instead. Brave's new reward system is kind of like a solution in the middle. See, it shows intermittent ads if you enable them, if you turn it on, and they're kind of non-intrusive, they're down in the corner, and then it pays you, the person who's running the browser, and you collect this kind of money inside of your browser, and then you choose, if you like, to pay it out. So let me go ahead and show you real quick. So here I am. This is Brave. For those who haven't seen it before, it looks a lot like Chrome. And then up here, next to the URL bar, you can see this Brave reward system. I'm going to go ahead and hit Join Rewards to set it up for the first time. And here we are. And if you're at any site and you hit this little button, you'll have a Send a Tip button like this, where you can literally spend some of the money that you have accrued at a certain website. And what I find odd is that most of the websites that have signed up for this are on the left. They're doing it. People like Washington Post and Vice, these sites are doing it, but you go by the Daily Caller and the Washington Examiner, and they're not signed up for it yet. And I think we ought to be doing the same thing. We certainly ought to be trying to, allow people who create, and gather news that isn't left-wing to be able to thrive. So let me go ahead and show you that. I'll go by the Washington Post just so I can show you for a second, because I've got a little trick too. So here we go. Okay, so we're at a site that is actually using this system, and we hit this button, and you can see it says Brave Verified Publisher. That means they've actually signed up to receive the rewards. And if we were to hit Send a Tip, there we go. We can donate some of our BATs, or BATs, which is just a cryptocurrency. You can see the equivalent amount of money next to it. It says $0.36 there. You can go up and you can even make it monthly if you like. And that's just an example. If you have a website, sign up for it. You can do so over at brave.com. And the same way if you have a YouTube channel. And if you're visiting a YouTube channel, you can hit that same button and donate to the person. So it's a pretty neat little system. From what I've noticed, on average, I get about 50 cents a day. So it's not big money, but that's about $15 a month that you could contribute to the people that are providing you with a service, right? That otherwise you wouldn't be able to contribute. It also has an auto-distribute option. That's where Brave automatically distributes the amount of money that you earn back to the websites that you actually visit. I don't want that, because you know, in doing my research, I'm often at sites like the Washington Post, the New York Times. I have to kind of tolerate them in order to expose them. I don't want to actually fund them too, right? So I don't do that. So you can turn off the auto-distribute if you like. But also, if you are using Brave for the first time and you're at a site like this, there's a nifty little feature at these sites, where right here, where it says third-party cookies blocked, you can switch that to just cookies blocked, which will block all cookies, which will mean that you can view as many Washington Post or New York Times articles without having to pay any of them. If you don't allow cookies, you get unlimited free articles. Just thought I'd go ahead and share that if you don't want to fund them, which you shouldn't. Okay, alright. Some people are opposed to this whole Brave Rewards thing because they don't like advertising. They think that there's nothing whatsoever to be gained from advertising, that advertising is just inherently bad. It's not. Advertising is necessary for small businesses to succeed. And it's impossible right now, if you're a small business, to advertise without funding the corporations that you don't want to fund. The corporations that are censoring conservatives. Like, take Black Rifle Coffee. It's a well-known conservative brand. You may have heard of it. But if you have, you've heard about it because you're visiting websites, like social media websites, for example, where they're advertising. But because they're advertising there, that means that they have to fund. Like, they may have to, for example, give money to Twitter for Twitter advertising. But how do you give money to them without just feeling kind of dirty? But there's no alternative right now. This would provide an alternative. So instead of funding, say, Facebook and watching their ads for you too, like each time you go to Facebook, if you're seeing their ads, you're funding them. You can instead use Brave, see some conservative brands every once in a while, and fund those conservative brands without spending any of your money. I think it's kind of a perfect solution, actually. Stop. Don't leave yet. Since you made it to the end, you probably enjoyed that video. In that case, here are some other videos that you might enjoy. The updates link at the top will provide you with better ways to be more reliably notified of new videos, and it also has social media information, that kind of thing. That's because you know how this site is. Well, the link at the bottom, the store link, that's in case you're looking for merchandise or our healthier products. Thanks.